Let's get to yesterday, round one of the draft. You wrote an article just around the North. So the Bengals took an offensive tackle from Georgia. Steelers took a guard from Washington. Ravens took cornerback Nate Wiggins. Take us through that article and just your thoughts on what the Browns' opponents did in round one.
The Bengals did one of the things I really didn't want them to do. But I will say overall that our division rivals did what they always do, and that's draft well. I think the Bengals in the last 5 or 6 years have been really good at drafting. And, of course, Pittsburgh and Baltimore's track records in the draft, they're self-explanable. But with Amarius Mims, he's probably the biggest boom or bust prospect maybe in this entire draft. Only 8 career starts at Georgia, but my goodness, when Amarius Mims is on the field, do you know that he's on the field? He's massive player, massive athletic upside. It's just a raw player. You've got to develop him. If you can do that with Amarius Mims, I think that you are coming out with a guy that will protect Joe Burrow. They love their big, giant, hulking tackles in Cincinnati, and with Trent Brown and Orlando Brown Jr. there, Mims doesn't have to necessarily play right away if he's not ready, and that's not cool for the Browns. I don't love that with the Amarius Mims there, but I think that was a fantastic pick. With Pittsburgh and Troy Fontenot, another great pick because he can play inside, he can play outside. Offensive line was a major problem for them as they're trying to figure out quarterback. We've seen with Russell Wilson and Justin Fields, they need above average offensive line. So they're like, hey, we've invested in this quarterback position with these 2 young guys. Well, I'm sorry, Fields a young guy, and then, Russell Wilson and a grizzled veteran. But hey, we're going to invest in the offensive line. The Browns have been doing that for years, and it's worked out for us in that sense with the quarterback. So I really like what those 2 teams did. And Wiggins, I think, is the best cover corner in this draft. He's just like 165 pounds is what he looks like on tape. I know they weighed him in at like 172, 175 at the combine, but that's a Baltimore Ravens pick. He's not going to be on the strong side against your big physical wide receivers. That's where Marlon Humphrey will be. But great drafting by the AFC North last night.